Yo, what's good everyone? This is AEO Boxing with Madiba, and here's my post-fight review for Josh Taylor vs. Teofimo Lopez. And all I have to say is that I'm impressed. Teofimo Lopez put on a masterclass against Josh Taylor, and I'm glad that my prediction for this fight was wrong. I doubted Teo and his father, and they proved me wrong. I predicted that Josh Taylor would beat Teo in a competitive fight, but I'll admit that my prediction was somewhat influenced on doubting Teo rather than purely looking at styles. However, I did state that if Teo was 100% mentally focused, he could win this fight, and it was very clear that Teo was on his A game and had supreme confidence. The fight started off fast. Taylor came out aggressive, fighting on the front foot, trying to establish respect and assert himself. Teo, on the other hand, matched the aggression of Taylor, but was not the one to initiate the action. He was reacting and looking to counter Taylor. Both landed clean punches, but I thought that Taylor won the round through effective aggression. However, the story of the fight was already written. Taylor was going to be the aggressor, and Teo was going to be the counterpuncher. And round 2 would foreshadow how the rest of the fight would play out, which was Teo using Taylor's aggression against him by counterpunching. The early rounds were still competitive, with Josh Taylor landing some big punches, especially with the left hand, and working his way inside. But by round 4, you could see the separation between Teo and Taylor. And by the mid-rounds, Teo was in control. This is where his explosiveness and athleticism really began to show. He was hitting Taylor with clean, accurate right hand counters, fighting off the ropes and on the back foot while evading Josh Taylor's punches, and exploding with leaping left hooks and combinations. Every time Teo landed, the crowd would erupt with oohs and ahs. Teo was one step ahead and Taylor had no answers. Taylor got away from using his lead hand and was over-reliant on his back left hand, but it was ineffective. And when it got to the late rounds, Teo's power and confidence was on full display. Teo hurt and stunned Taylor multiple times, especially with the counter right uppercut. Teo was showboating and dancing, and the crowd was loving it. The Scottish fans in the crowd were dead silent, and there was a lot of them in attendance too. I low-key felt bad for the Scottish guy in front of me because he was surrounded by Teo fans. He was in complete disbelief in what was happening. Teo would end the fight strong, almost stopping Taylor in the 12th round, but Taylor would clinch to survive. I have to give credit to Taylor's chin because he took a lot of clean punches throughout the fight. This was a masterclass performance by Teofimo Lopez. I already said it, but I have to say it again because it was that good. I'm glad I went to this fight and saw it live. I was going to record it, but my section was too rowdy. 2 fights almost happened around me. People kept on standing up in front of me, but it was worth it. Great experience overall, and it was a great crowd. I do have to admit that I underrated Teo going into this fight, but he proved me wrong. He proved the haters and the doubters wrong, and he showed that he's truly a pound-for-pound fighter and a generational talent. With him being the new WBO champion at 140, Teo has a lot of options. I know he said he wants to retire, but I don't think he will. He just needs a rest most likely. And I have the utmost respect for Josh Taylor. He admitted defeat with grace and gave Teo his props, with no excuses. A lot of people are now saying that Josh Taylor is on the decline, but I'm not counting him out. This fight should show you that taking a loss or having a bad fight does not define you as a boxer. We saw Teofimo Lopez struggle with Nakatani, knock out a prime Kome, beat a pound-for-pound Lomachenko, lose in an upset to Kambosos, openly doubt himself in front of cameras after fighting Sandor Martin, and then he would go on to dominate Josh Taylor. So if Teo can do all of that within a span of 2 years, Josh Taylor can surely bounce back from this loss. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with AEO Boxing with Madiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.